Hello everyone, this is Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is your weekly Angel Oracle card reading for the week beginning February 27th, 2017. For this week, we're going to be using the Crystal Reading cards by Rochelle Sharman as the main part of the reading. And then I'm going to pull a couple of cards from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck by Doreen Virtue. So if you'd like to get a personal reading with me, you can go to my website at angelsouls444.com, the services tab. When you make your payment, make sure you fill out the submission form. That's what secures your place in line. I still have people writing to me and saying, I don't know how to get a reading with you. I explained at the beginning of the video, so they're not watching. So make sure, if you have a friend who's asking, like, how do I do that? She explains it at the beginning of the video. So there you go. And it's always in the description box below as well. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'm getting a lot of new Patreons in. So thank you guys so much for that. But I'll leave that information down below as well. And of course, the extra readings on Gumroad are now up and available for March. The theme is releasing blocks. So if you want to check that out, get on over there. And of course, I still have courses there. Someone pointed out too that on Gumroad, it becomes like a sea of readings and it's kind of hard to find the courses. I have to figure out if there's a way to organize them. I don't want to take some of the readings down because people like to go back and refer to them. But really, I mean, I went to the page and I scrolled myself. It takes like 3 seconds to scroll and you can see the courses. So if I can figure out a way to do that to make it nicer for you guys, I will. But really, in the meantime, just scroll down and you'll be able to find the courses. All right, so let's get into it here. Let's see what's going on. Actually, I want to put some more white light on these. Just 1 second. Better to have them nice and clean, right? All right, so let's see what's going on for February 27th. And you might want to check with the astrologers out there. I think we had an eclipse in here somewhere, didn't we? Was that on the 26th? I'm no expert, so consult consult with an astrology expert. Let's get tuned in here. Let's see what's going on. Okay. All right, I'm feeling like there's a similar thing to what happened exactly 1 year ago. So I don't know what that means. So I guess go back and try to think about what was going on for you 1 year ago. This might be going and watching, if you want to watch the video from a year ago, I might do that as well. Okay. So things not turning out the way we had anticipated, but I think it's for good reason. All right. So, excuse me, let's talk about that. Yeah, this is all to spark an awareness in us. We've been talking about this for forever, where there's all these shifts and changes going on in the world, and that in turn makes us have to change our plan, right? Like we could have had like the best thing going, and now all of a sudden things are changing. We're having to figure out a different way of being, how to carry forward. But there's a lot of fertility and possibility, right? So fertility with creativity, fertility with finding a new direction to go in, if that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna do my best with pronouncing these, but I hold them up so you can see the stones. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to pronounce this stone, but it's new beginnings and it's beautiful. I love this card. So there it is. So this is what happens. Like there's something that got, if I'm right on that and there was an eclipse on the 26th, that's so funny because the very next day, first card right out the gate here is new beginnings. So yeah, something probably changed. You might be feeling a little raw because we do have a self-love card here as well. But this is taking a stand. This is saying, I'm observing the world. I'm observing what's going on here. I am not going to allow people to treat me this way. I'm taking control of my life again. But this is in that, you want to be careful with that. You don't want to like take control and start pushing on things in your world. But solutions appear. Okay, thank you. They're saying if you're somebody who wants to hang on, okay. That's what the 1 year ago thing was. If you're somebody who's wanting to hang on to what you thought was going to be happening a year ago and you're not embracing the new beginning, you're going to have a hard time this week. But if you're willing to go, all right, universe, well, I thought that was a pretty good plan, but if you're showing me something different, let's move in a different direction, and you're willing to go with it, and then there could be some really great fertile ideas coming through for you. So this is the fairy stone, fertility. So whenever like I hear the word fairy. I think nature angels. I think Archangel Ariel. I think the outdoors. I think getting grounded and detoxified. This also talks about fertility. Now, on the whole, again, this is about being your own, being the co-creator of your own microcosm. We talk about that all the time. Emulating creator by making your own existence going on here. So new ideas coming forward. This could be projects. If you're sitting there going, but I want a baby, I want a baby, I want a baby. Is it a baby? I suppose it could be, but I will be very honest with you right now. That depends on a very individual energy, and I'm not getting like a full-blown, like, yes, a lot of people are going to get pregnant this week. Maybe not, okay? But this is fertility and ideas and clarity and knowing how to sort of move forward. Yeah, and here's Brazilianite. Yeah, flexibility. And say it again, please. A lot of us might have been really experiencing a lot of sort of negative emotions, feeling very down, feeling very spent, looking back over our lives. This is an Archangel Jeremiah kind of thing, but taking stock of where we've been and realizing, maybe for some of us out there, I know I have, I'm like, my life isn't that much different. I've had different experiences, but my hopes, wishes, and dreams, by the time I got to this age, I thought I would have had other stuff happening. And it just hasn't. And I think a lot of us have been feeling like our lives have stalled out. And what they're asking, especially for the energy of this week, is to pay attention. Look at what other possibilities are there, because the old way of doing things, it's going away. Things are moving rapidly. It might feel like a negative time in some respects, but really, if you're flexible and you're open-minded, the universe can bring you something that you hadn't previously considered, something that you never would have thought of because you didn't even know it was a possibility for you. Okay, so, and this is a green card too, so this reminds me of like the heart chakra and, being very flexible with matters of the heart. And that doesn't have to necessarily be romance. This is just how things affect you. What kind of memories do you hang on to? Be flexible and be willing to let that go. The way things have gone before doesn't mean that that's how they have to keep going in the future. All right, so then we have Kunzite, self-love. So here we go. A lot of self-nurturance this week, guys. If you are feeling raw, if you are even, like, I don't know, it might be as severe as depression for some people, right? Feeling very down, feeling very lost, feeling like, I don't know the path ahead. It doesn't make sense. And we're always so used to, how do we want to put this? If you're on the younger side, you might feel like your life is full of possibilities. And of course it is. If you're a little bit older, you might feel like, well, I've already kind of exhausted all the possibilities that I thought were there. And now I'm no further along than I was before. So if you start to feel any sort of like, I don't know, even grief, not saying anything bad's going to happen to you, but when things change, people actually have the same kind of reaction, like, oh, that hurts, the old way is gone, or the old me is gone, or however you might perceive that. They're saying, take care of yourself, okay? You can give some of the work a rest if you need to. This is, again, we say this all the time, spending time in meditation, but sometimes we just can't help what the external circumstances are, and we just can't help how it's affecting us. And yes, we do talk all the time about, try to be positive. And yeah, that brings other good things into your world. And then I don't know if you guys have been experiencing this, but it's like things are going really, really well, and then they just tank. And then they're going really, really well, and then they just tank. Well, there's this cracking opening that's happening within all of us and within the energies around us. Excuse me. And there might be a time, and that's probably now and in this week, where we're feeling very lost. And they're saying just try to get through it as best as you can. So if this is like you're feeling burned out about not making more progress in your life, or things are just not coming together the way you had hoped and expected, take the week off if you can. Okay, that's not saying like avoid your work or avoid your job, but if you need to take a day off and just go out into nature if you can, or take a day off and just meditate and go get yourself some ice cream if that makes you happy. Or maybe you're like, no, Michelle, I'm into only healthy foods. Whatever you want to do to nurture yourself, that needs to be the big theme this week. We have Mother Mary in here. She's been popping up quite a bit for me as well, because I'm, as you guys know, I'm on this roller coaster with you. I have my ups and downs as well too. So Mother Mary's been a great help. She can mother you. She can help you feel understood and loved. So if you're not getting that from the outside world, and hey, most of us don't, right? Especially if you are a light worker and you're out there trying to, you know, do whatever, trying to figure out your path and trying to express that path. You know, mainstream kinds of energies might not understand you, and people might not understand you. Other light workers might not understand you because they don't understand that you're here for a different purpose. I put this on Facebook. What's her name? Melanie Beckler? I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's Beckler. Ask Angels. She just put up a video, what was it, last week, and it was so well said. It was like the different kinds of light workers. Again, I posted it on my Facebook page. And I found, you know, it's always so cool to like listen to other people and how they're taking in the information. And it was just so well laid out. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm like the messenger light worker, but I'm also a transmuter. And she describes like that's somebody who dives right into the negativity and, you know, you deal with it. You have to get that part of that. And I've always kind of felt that about, for example, my path, you know. I am someone who dives into the negativity. I end up in places where bad things are happening, right? I dive right in because I'm a transmuter. And like, I don't know, I feel like, what are those fish in the tank, the bottom feeders? I kind of feel that way sometimes. Like I'm in here just to suck up all the junk so nobody else has to deal with it. Thank you guys. No, I'm just kidding. But like, it can exhaust you sometimes. And one of the things I hear all the time is you're so negative. Like, what? No, I'm observing what's going on and I'm trying to bring that to people's attention, right? I could go on and on about that, but it was just interesting to watch that video and feel kind of at peace with that. It was a nice reminder. I'm like, oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that portion of my existence. And yeah, that's how I do end up living in New York City right after 9/11. I had moved to LA right after they had their huge earthquake. When I moved to Colorado Springs, there were 2 shootings, boom, right away. And I don't think that they were really talked about because one of them wasn't sensationalized or what am I trying to say? It wasn't important enough, I suppose. So it wasn't really hitting the news very much. It wasn't going to get enough of an emotional reaction out of people. So it wasn't tragic enough. Let's put it that way. So nobody knew about it. But, you know, the reason why I'm telling you all this is so that you can look at your own existence. You might not be a transmuter. You might not be, you know, diving into the negativity and experiencing that and trying to make it better. But, you know, where do you feel misunderstood? Where are you very clear on what you're supposed to be and everybody else is coming at you, right? You know, you might be somebody who goes around and says, listen, you know, I'm somebody who's just here to like hold the light and, you know, keep high frequency, and people tell me that I'm not grounded in reality, or, you know, whatever the case may be, and go on and on with this. But how often do you feel misunderstood? How often, I mean, again, I'm going back to the example I was just telling you about. My whole life I've taken hits. I mean, I had a coworker one time tell me that he could only take me in small doses. And it was like, I'm sorry, what? I don't know what it is about you. It's just when I get around you, I just feel like you're looking into my soul and like you're judging me. And the fact of the matter was, is I never gave that guy 2 thoughts. I mean, honest to God, but I guess that was like that transmuter kind of energy where, like, I don't know how he was perceiving it. I kind of shut that conversation down. I'm like, yeah, I got to get back to work. I don't even know what you're talking about. That seems like your problem. Goodbye. But it did kind of hurt my feelings because I was like, what are you saying? Like, I'm hard to take? Like, because I'm not bouncing around and being, you know, what everybody wants me to be, being everybody's puppet. You know, that's one of those things that I talk about all the time, is being authentic. And this is just one example of many. You know, each of you probably has a similar story. And I encourage you to share it down in the comments below, or better yet, make a video of your own experience, especially, sorry for all the coughing. It's still here, guys. I don't know why. But anyway, you know, make a video of your own kind of journey and share that with others, okay? Because that in and of itself can be very healing. You know, just hearing Melanie's video gave me a moment of like, okay, yeah, like, okay, now, yeah, I remember now. And that's kind of why people react the way that they do to me, right? All right. So a lot of self-love, self-understanding. Again, that's what I was telling. That story was kind of long, but that's what I was telling you. All right, so let's get these magical mermaids and dolphins. My candle's kind of far away. So, okay. There we go. Oh, my shoulder just popped. That was kind of nice. I kind of needed that. All right, let's get a couple more cards going here, guys. Yeah, I want to put this out there too, because the feeling's coming through and I'm feeling encouraged to say this. Let's be more supportive of one another and not you know, coming down on people who maybe they are experiencing negative things and maybe they just need support and they need to talk about it. I mean, I know there have been plenty of times where I've been going through so much since, since like I started, especially doing angel work and really getting on my path. Whew, it's been left, right, and center with some stuff. And I feel like sometimes, like, I don't get to express what, do you know what I'm saying? What I'm experiencing and what I instill as a human, being able to get it out. So, you know, let's be good to one another. Let's not, especially in the community, like when I'm talking the spiritual community, just because you are into Eastern studies doesn't mean that you can't open yourself up to what somebody else is doing, okay? Or let's say you're an astrologer, it doesn't mean that you can't open yourself up to angel work, you know, and vice versa. Just be careful. Like, don't just go take, you hear me say this all the time, don't go just take one course and go, I'm an angel medium now. Okay, but, you know, just be careful with that because people are looking towards us for guidance and we have to make sure we're really, you know, doing what we say we're doing. Okay, so let's talk about this card. Yes. Reason why I'm having a moment here. I don't know if you can see it in my face, but I'm having a moment. I saw this at the bottom of the deck and it kind of struck me, but I'm like, no, well, let's keep shuffling. Okay. And I was waiting to see, because this is how I work. If I see something, especially if it's on the bottom of the deck, I'm like, well, if it comes out again, it's meant to come out. And here it is. So yes, your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. Now, this has many layers of meaning. Yes, things that are not worth your time are going to go out of your existence. Yes, it's time to start fresh. Yes, it's time to say yes to you. Yes on everything we've said here. Yes, it's time to understand yourself. Yes, it's time to release other people's judgments of you. And yes, maybe it's time to look back at those people and be like, you know, you hurt my feelings when you said that. You know, I mean, this isn't inviting confrontation, but this is inviting honesty. And I know that person who said that stuff to me way back when is never watching this. He always thought that this was goofy. But, you know, if ever I had a chance, I'd be like, you know, that was kind of unnecessary for you to say that to me. Like, I didn't invite that conversation. And really no good came out of it by you just saying that you couldn't, what did I say? Like, take me in small doses or whatever it was. So, yeah, so say yes to yourself, set those boundaries, don't let people walk all over you, and give yourself, you know, like we said here, this self-love, that time to rejuvenate. Okay? All right, let's get another card. And then I think that should be good for this week. So I think we're getting the applause for what we're talking about here because it needs to be spoken about. Sometimes there are messy topics, right? And hurt feelings would be a messy topic. But here we go. When we tap into this and we let certain things go, things that are just not working for us, it's starting to fade away. We're getting all this new guidance, I think. So then we have divine magic. So talk about new beginnings. And then we have divine magic. Again, it might take a little bit of like, okay, I'm going to let that go. Or, okay, you know what? Please stop saying that to me. Okay, you know what? This is my jam. I know my life's path and purpose. Don't you worry about it. You know, if someone's judging you or trying to tell you that you should do things the way that they do. You hear me talk about that all the time. So, a lot of repeating myself today. Sorry about it. Anyway, divine magic, extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. So the dark times will not last. You know, the ebb and flow of a human existence is going to have, you know, down moments and high moments and what have you. But I feel like a lot of us have been going through, I hate to put this like negative word on it, but it might have felt like a crisis. Like a crisis, and for everybody's going to be different. It's like an identity crisis, a crisis of faith. What the heck have I been doing with my life? Midlife crisis, you know, whatever it might be. And this is saying it's okay because all that stuff that you're coming out of now, it has served a breakthrough. It's served to kind of push you in this direction. Because think about it. When do you really take action? When you're kind of forced to, right? Or it's like, oh, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to switch my situation. And then you start, you know, because change is hard. It can be. You know, and there's the reality of it. You got little details, you know, maybe you have to move to a different city for a new job or even getting into a new relationship. You know, I mean, you have to get used to having somebody around. I'd be one of those people. Like, I've been single so stinking long. I don't even know what I would do if like somebody was in my space and I'd be like, yeah, I don't really do things like that. What are you doing? You know, I would have to like calm down with that. But anyway, sorry. So a lot of things shifting and changing, transmuting, transforming, something that felt, go ahead guys. These things that we put so much effort into, these things that worry us so much, starts to go away. And we find our power, which is what we've been talking about here. We find our voice. And I'm almost getting the image of like Yellow Brick Road. It's like, okay, I don't know what kind of magical land I just landed in, but I'm going to have faith here and I'm going to keep going one step at a time. But, you know, this is churning. Yeah, the energy is churning this week. So someone's going to tell their boss off this week. Okay. Careful with that. Okay. But, you know, try not to burn bridges, but lots of turnarounds. I'm seeing like wives who have domineering husbands. Yeah, that's kind of a construct that still exists. Someone finally standing up to their husband, or children, not children. I said children, but they're actually teenagers. And I see some of them coming out this week and saying, this is who I am. A lot of secrets revealed, but it's kind of in a nice way. It's like the sun sort of rises on it, and all of these things that we've held inside of us, it gets to come out now. And again, some of us bring stuff out and then it falls off the cliff because it was like, it was old. Like, why did I hang on to that thing? You ever clean out your closet and you're like, why do I still have these shoes? Oh my gosh, these are like from like the year 2000. Goodbye. You know, well, actually, if you hang on to them for another few years, they're going to be back in style, but because you know how it rolls. But it's like that. It's like, why am I still hanging on to that emotion? Why am I still seeing myself in that way? And maybe why things aren't moving ahead is because you're going to be expected somewhere else in some other capacity, because there's something else about you that you never knew, and it's about to be born. And that's the magic. All right, guys. So there it is. Report back, because I want to know what's going on for you guys too. I think that's an interesting sort of share. Now, if you are feeling depressed, if you are kind of in a low negative energy, sometimes when I offer for people to leave their experiences down below, they use this forum to abuse others, or to send abuse my way, or just to be negative, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to say what you have to say, but please be mindful about how you're presenting things. Please do not take things out on perfect strangers. Yeah, we need to talk about that. Okay. So just be careful how you're communicating. If you're sad, don't use other people as a punching bag. All right. But otherwise, please be feeling free to leave your experiences down below so that we can all kind of interact with each other, because we are a community here and we do love everybody. So please be mindful of that. People love you here. You don't have to be defensive. All right. You can come and share your experiences. So anyway, have a great week, guys. And I'm sending you so much love. Take care.